Thank you very much for this great opportunity to be here today. As moderator, my job is fairly easy because I don't have to steal the scene today. I will only have to set the scene. And since we have an impressive panel of speakers today, my job is a lot easier. I will not present any of my own work today because you guys have not paid for it. And so I will only raise a few questions, give some food for thought, because then probably you will have plenty of questions, plenty of interesting questions for the panel debate we will have afterwards. And please join me in spotting all the differences you can find between these three guys, right? Because that will make it much more entertaining for the whole crowd. So, a few questions to begin with, and I'll not give any answers whatsoever. First of all, will the global currency war escalate further? You probably remember that the global currency war was defined by Brazil's finance minister about a year ago, Guido Mantega, who was out saying, or out criticizing basically the Western economies for devaluating, for I would call it, make an active approach to depreciate their currencies. A year later, the currency war is still going on. The answer, or the question is, of course, will it escalate further? That's the first one. Secondly, is a trade war unavoidable? The trade war is actually not getting that much attention, at least not as much as the financial crisis or the economic crisis, but there is a trade war going on. And if you read the media, you will find plenty of commentators arguing that, for example, the WTO should be completely restructured, and that global trade is suffering, and that many countries are preparing some evil taxes on trade going forward. So that's the second question. Third thing is sovereign wealth funds. Our first speaker will touch upon this topic, and he's an expert in this field. So I'll not pretend to be one as well. But as a bank analyst, as an economist trying to predict on forecast currencies, on exchange rates, I've met sovereign wealth funds a number of times, trying to find out what is the implication from sovereign wealth funds on exchange rates. They are growing in size rapidly. Are they good? Are they evil? What can we expect from them in 10 years' time? Why are they so intransparent? And so on. Foreign direct investments took a big hit in 2009 when we had the global recession. Recovered somewhat in 2010, but what is the outlook? How will, for example, inflows look like for the US in 5 years' time? How will it look for China? What about India? And, well, basically, you can't find any Western economy that have bigger inflow than outflows. Is that a trend that will continue? The flow situation. We have among our speakers today, we have an expert in the flow situation as well. First question is the flow going from east to west, or is it from west to east? How will it look like in 5 years' time? Is it that simple? Is it just from east to west, west to east? Or could the picture be even more complicated? Could it be like that we're not seeing a flow from developed countries into developing countries, but we are more seeing a tendency that developing countries are investing in other developing countries? And then the developed world will be left behind. Could that be sort of like a fear scenario in 10 years' time? Perhaps even not even in 10 years' time. Could it be even closer? That's also up to debate today. Should we fear China and India? Well, not if you look at the global competitiveness rankings from the World Economic Forum, because here China, India rank only 27 and 51. But they are climbing up the ladder pretty quickly. So how will this picture look like in 2050? Think about that. Think about if you're interested in 2050. And finally, it's a daily question for me, how to attract funding, but also seeing it from a company or sovereign perspective. How can we really raise money in this environment? How can we look attractive, not just on the surface, but also underneath? How can we attract long-term investments? We desperately need long-term investments in Europe. Think about the debt situation in peripheral Europe. Think about the ongoing negotiations between Italy and China, Spain and China, perhaps also a number of other countries. We desperately need the funding from the newly developing world. So that's going to be a big theme, I think, as well today. And you can probably add, well, hundreds of questions to what I just put on the screen.